This video goes over how to do the barbell front squat. First thing, set your hands slightly outside shoulder width. So the grip you want on the bar is something that once it's on your shoulders, you should have an inch or two between your hands and your shoulders when the bar is on your shoulders. Once you unrack it too, it'll make more sense. So I've got my grip, then I unrack it from the rack. So you can see it's pretty high up on my shoulders. It's sitting in the crease of my shoulder. That's where it should be. My hands are outside my shoulders. If you're setting up for the front squat using this grip and you see that your hands are touching your shoulders, usually that's really uncomfortable and it cramps on your wrists a lot. So putting your hands a little bit outside your shoulders, like I said, an inch or two, will open up that range of motion. There is a bell curve though. If you go too far, then it cramps your wrists again. So you don't want to be too wide. You don't want to be too close. You have to be somewhere right outside shoulder width. And you can work with that yourself, right? So use your own common sense. If you think to yourself, God, this feels too close, try going a little wider. I'm sure if you go too wide, your body will let you know. So there is some wiggle room. You just got to find out what works best for your wrists. Next thing you have to do, keep your shoulders and elbows forward. So we're told most of the time to keep our shoulder blades back, which is, yes, good posture. But in the case of the front squat, which I still want you to have good posture, I still want you standing upright, I need your shoulders to be pushed forward. That way there's a place for the bar to sit. As you can see, the bar is sitting on top of my shoulders here, in the crease of my shoulder. If my shoulder blades are pulled back, the only place that bar is going to go is right into my throat. So obviously we don't want that. We want the bar in your shoulders. So next step, after setting your hands, elbows and shoulders forward. That way there's a place for that bar. All right. Next, set your feet shoulder width apart. And then, just like any squat, move your hips first. Bring that butt down to the ground. So my butt goes back just a little bit, and then it goes right down to the ground. Notice how my knees are going out, right? So in my other squat videos, we talk about the same thing. The knees should be out just a little bit relative to where your feet are pointing. My back is still nice and flat. Chest is pretty upright. So the goal, of course, is always to get parallel. In this video, I'm a little bit deeper than parallel, which is okay as long as your form's out breaking down. It's okay to go a little deeper. Going back to the elbows and shoulders being forward and high. So the goal really is to try to keep your elbows parallel to each other. So your upper arms right here, roughly parallel to each other. And you want your upper arms roughly parallel to the ground, or at least elbows nice and high. So as you can see, my elbows have come down a little bit. They're not parallel with the floor. That's going to happen when you squat. Your elbows are going to want to come down. But you got to fight it. So what I like to tell myself, and I tell all of my coaching clients is, once your elbows have dipped a little bit, which is usually when you're at the bottom, think of driving your elbows up and then standing up using your legs out of the squat. So drive those elbows up as you stand. All right, here's a couple examples of how not to do it. So it's kind of counterintuitive. Look at how my elbows came down. So now the bar is resting completely on my wrist and fingers. So look at the angles there. That should look like it hurts. It does hurt. So you want to avoid that. Watch me rewind it. See how much less of an angle there is in my wrist now? So it's counterintuitive. You'd think that if you drive your elbows up, it's going to cramp your wrists. It's actually the opposite. Keeping those elbows nice and high, as long as your shoulders are forward, takes the pressure off your wrists. Notice how I'm right on my fingertips too. If you have really flexible wrists, you might be able to keep a full grip on that bar. I can do this. I can keep a full grip on the bar. In this video, I'm showing that it's on my fingertips just to show that you can just relax your hands and still be able to do the squat, because it's not your hands holding the bar, it's your shoulders. So again, those elbows should not be down for the squat. Knees should not go first, right? Keep your weight on your heels, butt back and down for a squat. That's a good rep. So if that grip is not working out for you, you can use the cross grip. So you got to make sure you're symmetrical on the bar, or else it'll tip really easy when you're using this grip. So same rules here. If you don't have the flexibility or mobility in your wrists to do a front squat, you can do this instead. So you just cross your hands to get it on the crease of your shoulders. But the same rules with everything else. Try to keep those elbows nice and high. Feet shoulder width apart. Butt back and down, knees out. Stand up straight. Same thing, you can drive the elbows up out of the bottom using this grip. Always breathe by inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Okay, so lastly, in this video, I demonstrated walking forward. You should always be facing the direction I'm facing right now, and then walking backwards to unrack it. Okay? That's the barbell front squat.